Hi friends, recently I filled the Canada Citizenship Application and it's a very simple application form. I'll show you step by step on how I filled the application, including checking the eligibility, the physical presence calculator, and I'll also be doing running commentary on how I did this entire filling on my own without anyone's help and how I ensured the correctness of the form. So without wasting much time, let's go to the computer screen.
This is the apply for citizenship page, and here all the details are given. I will show you what the eligibility requirements have been asked. To be eligible to become a Canadian citizen, you must be a permanent resident. I am a permanent resident. Have lived in Canada for 3 out of last 5 years. I have lived in Canada for more than 3 years. Have filed your taxes if you need to. From the time I have landed, I have been filing my taxes. Pass a citizenship test. This will come later after I submit the application. Prove your language skills. When I came on permanent resident status, I appeared for IELTS exam and I had submitted that result, and based on that my language proficiency was checked. So I have that too. Now there are situations where one can be prevented from becoming a Canadian citizen. You can go and read this. I'm confident about what I'm doing. So to further check the eligibility, once I click here, check your eligibility. Here, have you been a permanent resident and physically been in Canada for at least 3 of the last 5 years? So minimum 1095 days physical presence in Canada is required. I've stayed more than that. Once we go through the calculator, I'll show you. My answer is yes. In the last 5 years, have you been outside of Canada for more than a total of 730 days? My answer is no. Come down. Have Canadian officials advised you to leave Canada, or that you have unfulfilled conditions related to your PR status? My answer here is no. Do any of the following apply to you? It's a long list. You can read at your own time. I have gone through this list and my answer is no. If there is any of the answer as yes, then there are further questions which is getting asked. So it's very logical. Once you read this, you will get to know. My answer here is no. You may need to have proof that you know English or French. Which of these best describes your situation? I talked about giving IELTS exam. So here I choose I am between 18 to 54 and I have proof that I have knowledge of English or French. In the past 5 years, have you been required to file your personal income taxes under Income Tax Act of Canada? From the day I have landed here, I've been filing taxes. So my response is yes. Did you file your personal income taxes if you were required to do so in the past 5 years? From the time I have landed, I've been filing my taxes regularly. The answer is yes. And now it says you probably meet the requirement to apply for Canadian citizenship. So what are the next steps? Physical presence calculator. I'll show you how it is done, and then application package for adult. Let me open physical presence calculator. I come down, start calculation. Enter the date you will sign the application. If you do not know when you will sign the application or are only checking to see if you are eligible, enter today's. I will any which ways choose today's date, that is 11 March 2022. Enter the date you became permanent resident of Canada. So in my confirmation of PR as well as back of the permanent resident card, the day I landed, that date has been entered and that's the date I became permanent resident. And I choose the date what is mentioned. So in order to save a calculation, you must register and login. This is a very good option. If it is saved anytime, this will be available for access. For today's video, I'm directly going to calculate. Once I calculate, I'll be able to download this, and once I'm sending this physical copy of application, I just need to attach and send. Did you have Canadian temporary resident status, that is visitors, international student, temporary worker, temporary resident permit holder, and or were a protected person? You see here, this is the date 11 March 2017. Okay, if you had seen, I had chosen today's date as the application filing date, so 5 years backward is 11 March 2017, and I had shown the landing date as 10th January 2019. So prior to that, this duration, did I have any of these status? The question what is getting asked, and my answer is no. So once I do the submit, only the 5 years immediately before the date of your application are considered for calculating the physical presence requirement. So I have explained this. Continue. Did you spend time serving a sentence for an offense in Canada, that is term of imprisonment, conditional sentence, probation, and or parole? What is the date? 11 March 2017 to 10 March 2020. 5 years window. My answer is no. Submit. Continue. Did you leave Canada between 11 March 2017 and 10 March 2022? Now this question came as a tricky one because I landed as permanent resident in Canada, and from that time I have not gone outside Canada. And if you see the date here, it mentions 2017. So I was in India and I was thinking, how should I be responding? Answer: yes, if you left Canada for any reason, including vacation, work, business, family matters, school, illness, etc. My response is no, because after I landed in Canada, I have not traveled back or gone outside Canada, and I'm meeting that eligibility requirement of number of days what is getting asked. So I chose no and submit. Day trips, that is absence where you left Canada and came back on the same day, must be declared. So this is very clear. Say I had taken vacation outside Canada, say to US, Mexico, or I had gone on trip to India, those things will have to be declared. So that's how calculator will calculate the number of absent days, and after taking that out, how many physical days I actually stayed in Canada. So continue. And this physical presence calculator, what does it say? According to the information you provided, that is I provided, you meet the requirement to be physically present in Canada for at least 1095 days in 5 years immediately before the date of your application. Once I come down, okay, it shows the permanent resident date, which I had entered, application date again I had entered, and then the physical calculator calculated that I have been in Canada for 1056 number of days. What is the required minimum days? 1095. So it is more than that. And had I chosen my answer any of them for this and this, the calculation would have shown according. So here it is 0 and 0. Then for the temporary resident status also, my response was nil. So you see no days shown. So that's how this physical calculator shows my total presence in Canada. So here there is a note. Please note, every day of physical presence as temporary resident or protected person counts as 0.5 days credit, and you cannot be credited for any more than 365 days of temporary residence or time as protected person. Therefore, in order to get maximum 365 days credit, you need to be physically present in Canada as temporary resident or protected person for 730 or more days during the. If you remember, there was a section where this number was mentioned. Okay, so the logic is, if anyone was a temporary resident and they had stayed for these many days, okay, so for each day they stayed, that will be considered as this much credit, and that's how the calculation would have been done. So had you entered the number of days you were in Canada, any absenteeism, the calculator would have shown the outcome according. So my physical calculator is done, so I know that I meet this criteria. Okay, and once I come down, print and attach this page with your application for Canadian citizenship. So this page will go as attachment as proof that I have done the physical calculator calculation. And please make sure that the date of application used in the calculation, so date of application here is this, so the same date has to be the date of signature on the application form which I will be filling. Okay, so I have read this. There's a warning. If you send an application containing misleading or fraudulent information, you can be charged with criminal offense and your citizenship application can be refused. So this warning is pretty much clear. Once I do print this page and go and save, I have saved. In case I want to modify, I can do the modification and then print and save. If I want to start a new calculation, I can go and so this part is done. Coming to the application for Canadian citizenship. So this is the page, and again there are things like eligibility. So I come down, okay, and what does the application package include? Instruction guide. So this has instruction guide, application for Canadian citizenship, adult, this is the number in PDF, document checklist, and then the citizenship photo specific. So I will go one by one and show you how I am doing this entire activity. Let me open the instruction guide. On this page, once we come down, steps to Canadian citizenship. So there are 10 steps which has been given here, okay, and there are appendix given if there is a name change, date of birth correction, or gender change. So in today's video, I showed you the eligibility part. I showed you the calculation, gathering the documents. I will tell you what all documents I will be sending along with the application form. I'll be doing the running commentary when I'm filling the application form. Then pay the fee. It's a simple process. I just need to go online and pay the fee. That's a very simple part. Submit your application. I'll be doing a physical copy. So I'll be showing you the address to which I'll be sending the form. In case it's online, if time permits, I'll make a separate video for that. Prepare for your test. That is the next step. After submitting the application, go for your interview, test or hearing. This is where the assessment will be done for me, and then there will be a wait for decision. So if everything goes well, go to a ceremony and take the. So procedure is clear. I've already completed the step 1. Step 2, coming to step 3, gather your documents. So let me go over one by one. The original printout of your online physical presence calculator, the one which I saved, I will take the printout. Okay, so this is ready. Color photocopy of all pages, valid or expired, of your passport or travel documents during your 5-year eligibility period, including the biographical page, which includes name, photo, date, and place of passport, travel document number, issue date, and expiration date. If you do not have any of these documents, so I will not go into this. I have my document. I have India passport. One is expired and the other one was a renewed one. Before I came to Canada, I had got that done. So both the passport, I will take the color photocopy, and I will show this biographical page which includes name, photo, date of birth, and the expiry date, all of these. So this also is ready with me. Photocopies of 2 pieces of personal identification. So what are they? A copy of biographical page of your passport oblique travel document. My passport is there with me. This takes care of first requirement. Permanent resident card. A PR card may only be used as personal identification if your second piece of personal information was issued by Canadian government. Okay, then driver's license. I have my Ontario driving license. Health insurance card. So I have my health insurance card. So I will submit my India passport, and then I will submit my Ontario driver license copy. So 2 pieces of personal identification will get. Let me come down. So there are few more, and in my case I meet those 2 criteria, so I skip this. Okay, and if you are 18 to 54-year-old, photocopies of your proof of English or French language ability. So I will be sending my IELTS report which I had used for my PR process. The examples are given: third-party language test, diploma, certificate or transcript from secondary school or post-secondary education program in Canada or abroad where language of study was English or French. Proof that you have reached the Canadian language benchmark CLB level 4 or higher through a government funded language training. So I have my IELTS test report. When I had come, I will be sending that because it has already been proven and IRCC already has that as a doc. So come down to identical citizenship photo. Let me open this. I will try to explain because it is different from the passport. Citizenship photo specification. What are you applying for? Becoming a Canadian citizen. You click here. How are you applying? For today's video, I'm applying by mail. So If it is online, I will be uploading digital copy. If it is offline, I'll have to send a physical copy. So I click here, and once I come down, this has the specification given. All I will be doing is I'll be going to the retail store Walmart, which is next to my place, and I will ask the photo studio to get my Canadian citizenship application photo done. I need two color printed photos, and they are commercial photographer and they do this day in and out, so they will take care of all this requirement. Here the specification is given and image quality is given, so since they are professional, they will do this job. Okay, so you can go and read this. The photo studio has to give their name, date, and the address of photo studio. So what is accepted, what is not accepted, all those details are given here, and there are references. Okay, so you can take time to go through. Coming back to the application, step 4 is to complete the application form. So this is the blank application for Canadian citizenship adult 18 years of age or older, which is applicable in my case. And the good part about this document is, as I keep filling, I can go and save. So once I click save, whatever I have filled, it remains as it is when I open this form again. So I don't have to fill this again and again. Once the form is complete and I click validate, the form, in case I have forgotten to fill any of the detail, it prompts me. I'll show you once I am going through the application form in detail. You will be able to see that if there is any error, it prompts me to make that correction. So that was one very handy thing which I came across while doing. And to make this video more understandable, I have already filled the application form. Okay, you can see here I have filled in, and I will go into detail explaining each and everything what I have done. I will also create a timestamp so that in case you want to come and review any particular part of this video, you will get to that directly. The form, I found this to be very simple and straightforward. It was no brainer for me to do. So I will try to give a running commentary, as I said, and I will try to explain what I did and why I did that. So coming to, in which language would you like to receive service? There are two options, English and French. I selected English. Do you have special needs requiring accommodation? This may include wheelchair access, sign language interpretation, braille, or large print reading material, or access for assistant or seeing eye doctor. So in my case, I have selected no. In case say I had selected yes, this dialog box opens and I can then select the options, and also once I select, I will be able to provide more detail if I choose. So my answer here is no. Okay, and then your unique client identifier UCI, as shown on your record of landing, confirmation of permanent resident, or last permanent resident card. So in my case, I came as a permanent resident to Canada, so I had confirmation of permanent resident, and that allowed me to land in Canada. Once I landed, I got my permanent resident card, and both these documents have the same UCI. This UCI number is same on both the documents. So all I did was I made sure that I'm making the correct entry. So I entered that detail. And the next question is your full name as shown on your record of landing, confirmation of PR, and last permanent resident card. So again, the name what is given in my PR card, same way I wrote. The family name, that is the last name, comes first and given name comes next. So I just, once I entered, I took a pause and I looked at if I'm making the right entry or no brain. Have you changed your name since becoming a permanent resident? In my case, the answer is no. And if yes is selected, then this dialog box opens. And here the note says, if you have legally changed your name, you must submit additional documents. So this appendix A gives the guidance on the name change instruction. So if you are in this situation, you may have to go through this document and see how you fill this detail. Okay, so in my case it is no. Now coming to gender. Gender, again it has drop down, male, female, another gender. So in my case I select male. And coming to the height section, I am aware of the height. In some cases people are confused. So I've seen when they go for medical checkup, most of the clinic, they have this height measuring equipment. So some of them have gone and got their height measured at those and it's free of cost. I know my height. Once I enter that, this field automatically populates. Okay, if I change this, let me show this to you. Once I make 170 centimeter, you see this automatically changes. Natural eye color, again no brainer. I know my eye color, so I pick from the option. So I chose my eye color. Let me come down. Your date of birth as shown exactly on your record of landing, confirmation of permanent residence or last permanent resident card. So one of the document which I will attach with this application is my permanent resident card, because it will have all the relevant information what this form has been looking. And if there are anything additional, I'll be complementing this document. I'll show you one by one. I look at my COPR as well as last permanent resident card and I make the date of birth entry. So the format, I'm just making sure it is right. Year, month and date. Again, this should be no brainer. Place of birth, I enter the city and country. This detail is also entered on my India passport. So I'm just making the entry what is there in my India passport. So the passport copy will also be going as a doc. Now, once I come down, have you ever used any other name, alias, nickname, previously married, etc.? So in my case, I leave this blank. In case anything is applicable, very simple drop down menu, one need to go and pick up. And if there are multiple names, there are options to add. Okay, so this part is done. Please indicate your marital status. Are you annulled marriage, common law, divorced, married, separated, single, widowed? So I chose what I am. I'm married. Contact information. How can we contact you about the application? If submitting your application by all correspondence will go to this address unless you indicate email address below. So I have mentioned my email address. However, I have also filled in this detail, the mailing address. Apartment unit, I am entering my apartment unit, the street number, street name, city, town Mississauga, country is Canada, and then province I am mentioning and the postal code. So the address has been entered. Is the mailing address the same as home address? In my case, the answer is yes. If it is no, once I choose no, this dialog box will open where I will have to provide the mailing address. Best phone number to reach you. I have chosen Canada/US. So this is the option. I have chosen this type of service. So residence, cellular, business, mine is cellular. I enter the country code, area code and number. So country code for Canada is 1. That by default it comes once I choose this. In case it is any other country, then this dialog box will open, and then I am entering the 10-digit mobile number. As I enter, it automatically takes the first 3 digit into area code and continues with the number. So in case it's a landline and has an extension, once I fill, I just have to enter the extension. So the detail has been entered. Alternate number can also be given. In my case, I have left it blank, and then I have given my mail address. So that was filled. Is someone helping you fill out this form? I take no help. I do it myself. Is someone helping you fill out this form? The answer is no. And if I say yes, then this dialog box opens, because are you paying someone to help you fill out this form? In case someone is taking help, then that entry gets made. If yes, the either question above, complete the following details about the person helping. For family name, given name and company name. And what it says, a representative can be paid or not. If your representative is paid, if someone is asking money to do this form, they must be a member in good standing of law society of a province or territory, the chambers, the notaries du Quebec, or the immigration consultant of Canada Regulatory Council, ICCRC. Would you like to name a representative such as immigration or citizenship consultant, lawyer, friends or family member to do business with us for you? My answer is no. Okay, and then coming to the assessing your eligibility. This part I already showed. I used the online physical presence calculator and I showed you completely on how that was done. So I will not go again into that detail. As I showed, I am eligible. I will provide a signed copy of online physical presence calculator. So I will take the printout and I will attach this document along with the application. So this will be one more document which, or how to calculate physical presence form. This section has to be used in case it has not been done. So I'm looking at the physical presence calculator which I had filled. Enter the to date from the calculator your 5 years eligibility period is from. So once I make the to date entry here, right, this automatically fills. Okay, so I just need to enter this, and backward it calculates the 5-year eligibility. Remember, I have been here in Canada for more than 3 years, but the eligibility year is getting considered for 5 years. So some of my India information is also getting asked in this form. During your 5 years eligibility period, did you live outside of Canada as a crown servant, or with your spouse or common law partner or parent who was a crown servant? Find out who is crown servant. In my case, I know I'm not a crown servant. You can go and read this in detail. My answer is no, and in case it is yes, this is the guiding document one has to rep. So I leave this part. I will come down to point 10. Please list all addresses inside and outside of Canada during your entire 5-year eligibility period. Start with the most recent. If there are any missing days or period of time, your application will be returned to you. Okay, so when I am filling any of the addresses, it's always easier for me to go in a order where I am entering first where I started the earlier, and that's how I do that exercise. Here, when I'm working backward, I was finding it difficult. So to make it easy, I always make a sheet like this. I made an entry of my landing date, date of birth, date of application, and then the 5-year duration details, what is getting asked for the residence as well as the work. I created this table. You'll get to know why I did this. As this form, I found it to be little difficult when I was filling in the format it is. So I had from, to, apartment, street number, name, city, province, country, postal code. It is this in a format which I understand, so that I know that I'm not making any mistake with the from and to. Same thing was for the work experience section also. From, to, occupation, name of the employer, address, city, country, province and state. So this Excel sheet I made. In case you want to have a look at this blank template, I will leave this in the link in the description so that it's easy for you. So please feel free, go and download exactly the same you want is there. Okay, in the form. Now I just created this form. You see here, from is here and to is given. So to me it was little confusing, and that's the reason why I created that table, so that I can see from and to side by side, and entire detail is in the one single line. So that actually uncluttered the information what I was putting here, and it helped me to organize and put the detail in the right frame of mind and without any mistake. So if you look here, this is the present address where I'm staying, that is on the top. Okay, so it has from, to, the apartment and unit number, street name, city, town. This I entered, and country I chose Canada from the drop down. Okay, this is the drop down, and province, once I chose Canada, automatically this province also open. So I chose Ontario in my case. Okay, so this is the long list of province, and then the postal code. So in case say I make any mistake, I told this at the start of video that form prompts in case I make any mistake. Let me do one thing. I will just remove this. Okay, you see I have removed 6 and I have saved this. So when I'm trying to validate, it will prompt me that the address is not complete. You see this? So that's how the form prompts me with the mistakes. I make this and save. You see now it is updated. So looking at the Excel sheet what I had created, I just made an entry, and all I did was check, recheck and cross check, because I felt this is the place where I can make a mistake. And if you look at this instruction, it says please list all address inside and outside of Canada during your entire 5-year eligibility period. Start with the most recent. If there are any missing days or period of time, your application will be returned to you. So I wanted to avoid, and I wanted to make it first time right, so I made the entry like, okay, so all the 5 years wherever I stayed, I made that entry. So before coming to Canada, I was in India, so even that time I had mentioned, and I checked and double checked that there are no gaps in the date. So this was one check I had done, and that sheet which I had created really helped me to organize everything that way. In case in your case you have more number of places where you have stayed, you can always create these additional dialog box. Okay, so once you click here, similar dialog boxes will open, so you can keep adding the number of addresses which you want to add. Let me come down. Okay, this is one more section where initially I was confused, but the answer is also in the form itself, which I will show you. In the past 4 years, were you in a country or territory other than Canada for 183 days or more in a row? So like in my case, I have stayed in Canada for more than 3 years, but before that I was in India and I was there for more than 183 days. Okay, so and it says since the age of 18. If you cannot get a police certificate, tell us why below. So you see, I have given an explanation and I will explain why. I said country or territory India. Okay, I will provide a police certificate. I said no, and I am explaining was in India, my country of origin, immediately prior to becoming a permanent resident PR, hence not providing police certificate. So when I came on permanent resident, I had got my police certificate submitted to IRC and they have this in their file. And if you look at this note, if you were in your country or territory of origin immediately prior to becoming a permanent resident and landing in Canada, and this time falls within this 4 years period, you are not required to provide a police certificate. Please indicate this in the X box. So this note explains that I don't have to submit the police certificate again. So this is fairly simple. I don't have to submit. The police certificate must either have been issued after the last time you were in that country or territory. In my case, I meet that criteria. Not more than 6 months before the date you signed your citizenship application. Yeah, this is not valid for me. Okay, because when I came, as I said, when I came I had submitted. And in case you have to get your police certificate, this is the link which tells you how to get the police certificate. So this section was something which took little time. Once I deliberately started to reading, I understood that I don't have to submit, and this was quite good for me. Tell us what you have been doing during your 5 years of eligibility period inside and outside of Canada. So once I landed in Canada, I was unemployed, and then I was working, and after that I'm self-employed. So all I'm doing is I'm making those entries. So let me just go down. Okay, so you see this is a long list. Okay, and it shows the entire detail. Initially as an immigrant, I was unemployed and I was also moving from one temporary location to another. So for every temporary location I was mentioning the address and the time where I was. So you see here I have mentioned that I'm self-employed as a consultant, and name of the company, and then the address where it is. So this is the present detail. Then the company where I was working from to here the format is month and year. So that's why when I created that Excel sheet, it gave me a lot of clarity on how I should be organizing my detail. Here it is in month and year. On the top section, serial number 10, it is in date, month and year section. So to avoid any confusion, I created the Excel sheet. Coming down, so I entered the detail when I was unemployed and the location where I was staying in Canada, of course, and then again when I was unemployed and I moved from houses, those details were entered. And even in India, after working until December of 2018, before I moved, I had taken a break between December and January. I was unemployed at that. I mentioned that time duration also. So all I did was to ensure that there are no gaps, and that Excel sheet actually helped me organizing that entire thing. Okay, now coming down, do you have a social insurance number, temporary tax number, or individual tax number? My answer is yes, I have a SIN number. I made an entry of that SIN number which is there with the CRA, and then I filled the section. So I landed in 2019, and 2019 for that year I have paid taxes and I have filed taxes, and since then I have always filed taxes and I have been required to file tax. So I checked those boxes, and when I was not required to file these taxes, I just made that entry. Okay, so that entry was made, and here the question what is getting asked is related to the SIN, ITN or TTN release to the Canadian Revenue Agency. So IRCC would like to connect with CRA to find this information, and here I am giving the authorized. So the option is yes and no. I will have to choose, and if I choose no, then they may ask for additional information why. So in my case, I have all record and I say yes. Now coming down, now here, do you currently or have you ever held immigration or citizenship status in country or territory other than Canada? This include your country of birth. My answer is yes. I am an Indian citizen till the time I don't become Canadian citizen. So I made that entry here. The status, okay, these are the status. I chose citizen, okay, and then date obtained. By birth I am citizen, so I made my date of birth entry into this field. Okay, and that's how I filled. In case your situation is different and you need multiple boxes, here you can create more. So this part is done. Coming to 14, have you held travel document or passport during your 5-year eligibility period? My answer is yes. Tell us about all your travel document and passport covering your 5-year eligibility period. If there are any gaps between passport, please provide. In my case, there are no gaps between passport. Okay, so all I'm doing is I'm looking at, I have two passport. One is cancelled because I got a new passport before I was coming to Canada, just to have validity period for more number of times. So all I am doing is I look at my both passport, I enter the passport number, that's it, just the number. Okay, and don't even mention its passport, because I will have to submit that document. See here, note, you will be asked to show your original document during the processing of your application. So whenever that happens, I will have to show the original document. I just mentioned the document number, country or territory of issue, India, place of issue, I make that entry, date issued, all this detail I'm looking at my passport and making that entry. In case there are more passport in your case, there are further section. Coming to language evidence, if you are between 18 and 54 year of age, do you have proof of knowledge of English or French? My answer is yes. When I came on permanent resident program, I wrote IELTS exam. Okay, I have selected here and I have written yes. So at the time of my PR, I had appeared for IELTS general test, and the same document I will be submitting because I have already validated when I came here. So these are the list of proof of language evidence. One can, it's a long list, so I chose this general test. Okay, did you successfully complete the link or CLIC course at CLB, that is Canadian Language Benchmark 4, or NCLC 4 or higher from January 1st 2008 to 31st October 2012? So this is not applicable for me. I leave this blank. Okay, are you unable to submit proof of language due to disorder, disability or condition? I don't have to select any of these because I have selected yes. These boxes are automatically shut down for me. You see here, I cannot edit. So this is left. Come down. Probation. To be eligible to become Canadian citizen, you cannot be probated under the Citizenship Act. So there are series of questions. Okay, it's a long list. I'll just try to go quickly. Are you on probation, parole, serving term of imprisonment? My answer is no. Are you now serving a sentence outside Canada for an offense? No. Are you now in charge with, on trial for, or subject or a party to appearing relating to an offense under the Citizenship Act or an indicatable offense in Canada? An offense outside Canada? No, no. Then let me come down further. Okay, so you see all my answers here are no. In case any of the answer would have been yes, then I would have to explain and give further detail. If you have checked yes to any of the questions listed above, provide detail. You may need to provide fingerprint and or court document and or attend an in-person to make sure you are not prohibited under the citizen. So this box will get used had any of my answer be yes. So all my answers are no, and I'm checking here. Okay, by checking this box, I confirm I have read and understood the prohibitions under the Citizenship Act. Okay, so this is done. Consent to disclose personal information after you acquired citizenship. So first thing is congratulatory note, request for authorization. What is this? Federal Member of Parliament MP send a letter of congratulations to new citizens in their right. Do you authorize IRCC to forward your name, home address and preferred official language to your Member of Parliament? No other information will be forwarded. So I select yes. The option is with the individual. And National Register of Electors, here basically request for authorization is being asked. If I am over 18 years, the IRCC can send direct information to the Elections Canada, and in that case my national registration will be automatically done. And why not? So I chose yes. In case I say no, I can still go and vote, but I will have to register at the local Elections Canada office. It's one more process why I should be doing. I say yes, and that way everything is transferred out there. And then Quebec's permanent list of electors. This is not applicable to me. You see here, it's not editable. And I come down. Okay, and this is the signature of applicant section. Here I read entire thing and I say I agree, and I enter the city where I am and the date on which I am filing this application. So once that entry is made, signature of applicant, even though it shows that it's editable, if I try to type anything, that cannot be done. The reason being, I'll take a printout and then I will have to physically sign on this application. And what are the next steps? Select the validate button in your application. Validate button is at below of this application. I'll show you in a while. Pay your application fee online. So once I click here, I will be taken to page where I can pay this $630 per applicant, 18 years of age or older. So once I do that, I take a print receipt. It's very simple. Complete the document checklist. I will show you the checklist and the documents which I will be submit along with the application form. Okay, and if you are applying with your family, include all application in one envelope. So if the family files, it has to go in one envelope. It's very clear, and that's why individuals prefer, most of them prefer to do online application where this form is available online, filing is done, and then they pay. You don't have to send it to any postal address. It goes online. In my case, for this video, I'm showing as if it is going through physical mail, and this is the address where I will have to send. If it is going through regular mail, then I will have to send by this address, and if it is going through courier address, then I will have to send it to this address. So once this is done, I come down. Congratulations on completing your application form for an adult grant of Canadian citizenship. So as I said last time, once I click validate, in case I have made any mistake in the entry which is not according to the prescribed form, it will show me the error, and in case I have made all entry, then the validation will go through. So let me click and see how I have. Once I click here, it's taking little time to validate. Meanwhile, you see here, click here to access the official. Okay, the validation is complete. Validation completed successfully. Please print the entire application and sign on the last page by hand. Remember, I told that after taking the printout, I will have to sign in the signature section. This page contains barcode that facilitates data entry of your application. So whatever I have filed getting digitalized, even when I'm sending as a mail form, and see, once it is done, now it shows print form. Okay, so I can just take a printout of this. But if I come down, these are the barcodes with which whatever I have made entry on this PDF is documented, and IRCC will be able to transfer. So that's why this barcode have been given. Any changes I make, this barcode will also get changed. So every time any changes gets made, I will have to validate. Okay, and once that is done, then it becomes the final. I have to take a printout and do the signature part. So this barcode I have shown. Okay, so that's how it looks, and then just get the print form. I sign and the form is ready. So that's the whole process for filling up of form. So this is the document checklist, and this acted like a guiding form for me on what all documents I will be attaching. So I will go one by one, and this checklist will also go along with the application. So once the checklist is complete, I just click print form. First thing is application for Canadian citizenship, which I just showed you how I filled. It has to be completed and validated to generate the barcode. So I showed you my barcodes have been generated, printed and signed with handwritten signature. So that also I have done. Place the barcode page on top of your application. So barcode page will come on the top of application. That will be the first page, which when it goes to IRC, they should be getting that. Or if applying as a group oblique family in each individual application package. So for each application, the topmost will be the barcode page. If it is online, okay, physical presence calculation, print out. The next one is the online physical presence calculation, which I showed you how I did, okay, that printout, or how to calculate physical presence calculator. This link, you can go and check this part. Ensure that the application date used in this calculation and on the application form are the same. I checked the same date. I have entered both the places. Color photography of all the pages in your passports or travel document during your 5-year eligibility period. Remember, I told that I have 2 passports. One is cancelled, which because I renewed my passport just before coming to Canada, and that is well within that 5 years. So I'll be sending both passport photocopies, including the biographical page, which includes name, photo, date, and place of birth, passport travel document number, issue date, and expiration. I've made sure, I usually make a checklist, and I have made sure that all these pages go. If your passport validity was extended, include a photocopy of pages containing the extent. Not in my case. If you do not have travel document or passport, provide an explanation in question 14 of the app. Not applicable to me. Let me come down. Photocopy of proof that demonstrate knowledge of English or French. If you are 18 to 4 years, I will be submitting my IELTS exam report, the general training one, okay, I showed you earlier. So this will go. If you are 18 to 4 years of age and unable to demonstrate that you have necessary English or French language ability due to medical condition, you must submit supporting evidence with your application. Not applicable to me. Photocopy of 2 personal identification documents. Must have your name, photo, and date of birth. If there is information on both sides of the identification document, photocopy both sides. A copy of biographical page of your passport travel document can be one of the pieces of ID. So to photocopy of personal identification document, I will definitely be submitting my passport, okay, and all details are captured there, and then my driver's license, which is the other document which has my house detail, the province, and all those details that I will be submitting. So with these 2 documents, this is also taken care. 2 identical citizenship photo. As I said earlier, the passport photo and the citizenship photo requirement are different. I had shown this link, and in case there is any doubt, you can go and check the link for the specification. Then fee receipt, once this payment is paid, okay, and that receipt will also go along with this document, and this document check. Come down, submit the following if any of the following applies to you. Use of representative form. I don't have a representative. Original police certificate or clearance, not required in my case. Original police certificate or clearances, as I said, in my case, I don't require this, so I will not submit. Photocopy of legal name change document, not applicable in my case. Request to correct a date of birth for citizenship, not applicable in my case. Further down, request for change of sex or gender identifier form, not in my case. Residence outside Canada form, not in my case. And then translation, this is also not applicable. So this is the checklist. I will be checking this box, online physical calculator, color photograph of passport, photocopy of proof that demonstrate the English knowledge. This I don't require, okay. Photocopy of personal identification document, 2 identical citizenship photo, fee receipt, and this document checklist not applicable in my case. So once this is done, I print this form also.
So friends, you saw how simple this form was. It is time consuming, but I ensured that I am making no mistake, and the form itself has a way through which it lets you know in case you are missing something. So I hope this helps, and do like, share your comments and follow for more such videos from Canada Tried and Tested.